If Excel keeps turning your credit card numbers or order IDs into something like 1.2345E plus 15, you're not alone. And it's not a random glitch. Excel is trying to be helpful by treating long strings of digits as a number. The problem is, many numbers in business are really identifiers. They're meant to be stored exactly as typed. Once Excel converts them, you can lose leading zeros, and you can even lose digits after about 15 characters because of how Excel stores numeric precision. That's why an order ID can look fine at first, then quietly change. The good news is you can prevent it, and you can often fix it, depending on what already happened. In the next few minutes, you'll get a simple mental model, plus reliable steps for typing, pasting, importing, and repairing data. The goal is practical. Keep IDs intact, readable, and safe to export. Next step. Let's get clear on what's happening. Scientific notation is just a display format for very large or very small numbers. Excel uses it when a cell is too narrow, or when the number has many digits, or when the general format decides it's cleaner. But the bigger issue is not the display. The bigger issue is conversion. When Excel decides your value is numeric, it stores it as a floating point number. That storage has a hard limit, about 15 significant digits of precision. Past that, Excel rounds the rest. So a 16-digit card number can be changed even if you later format it as text. Formatting changes how it looks, not what's stored. So you have two separate problems to solve. One is making the cell show the full ID. The other is making sure Excel never converts the ID into a numeric value in the first place. Once you separate those, the fixes become straightforward. Next step. Now let's talk about the most common victims: credit card numbers, tracking numbers, order IDs, invoice numbers, and anything with leading zeros. These aren't quantities you calculate with. They're labels. If an ID starts with 0, Excel will drop that 0 the moment it treats the value as a number. If an ID is long, Excel may show E+ notation, and it may also round the last digits if the length exceeds the precision limit. If an ID contains hyphens or letters, Excel is more likely to keep it as text, which is why some IDs survive and others don't. The takeaway is simple. If you need the digits preserved exactly, store the value as text from the start. That one decision prevents nearly every downstream headache: exports, lookups, merges, and payment processing checks. Next step. Here's the quickest, safe method when you're typing IDs manually. First, set the cell format to text before you type. When a cell is text, Excel stores exactly what you enter, including leading zeros. Second, if you only have a few entries, you can type an apostrophe first, like 001234. That apostrophe forces text storage, and Excel won't include the apostrophe in the value you export. Third, if you need a consistent look, keep it as text and avoid custom numeric formats for IDs. Numeric formats can make things look right while still storing the wrong thing. One more tip. If you're scanning card numbers or IDs into Excel, pre-format the entire column as text first. That way, the scanner input won't be converted midstream. This is prevention at the point of entry, and it's the easiest win in the whole workflow. Next step. Copy and paste is where most people get burned. You paste a column of order IDs from a website or a database export, and Excel instantly converts them. The safest approach is to pre-format the destination column as text before you paste. That usually prevents conversion. If you're pasting into an existing sheet with mixed formats, use Paste Special and choose Values, then immediately apply text format if needed. Another reliable method is to paste into the formula bar of a pre-formatted text cell. Excel tends to respect the cell's type more consistently. Also watch for CSV files opened by double-clicking. That route often triggers automatic type detection, which is exactly what you don't want for identifiers. The theme is consistent. Decide the data type first, then bring the data in. If you let Excel guess, it will guess number far too often. Next step. The most dependable fix for CSV and text imports is to use Excel's import flow instead of opening the file directly. When you import, you can explicitly tell Excel which columns are text. That single step prevents scientific notation, prevents leading zero loss, and prevents rounding past 15 digits. The key is column-level control. If your file has multiple fields, mark identifiers as text and leave true quantities like price or units as numbers. This also keeps sorting and calculations correct for the columns that should be numeric. If you're working with recurring exports, save the import steps as a repeatable query so you don't have to remember settings each time. The big idea is repeatability. A manual fix is fine once. A controlled import prevents the same problem from returning next week with the next export. Next step. Sometimes the value is stored correctly, but Excel is only displaying it in scientific notation. That's the easy case. You can widen the column or change the cell format from general to text, or use a custom format that shows all digits.
But here's the important check. Click into the cell and look at the formula bar value.
If the formula bar shows the full digits exactly, you're safe. This is mainly a display issue.
If the formula bar already shows rounded digits or fewer digits than expected, the data was converted and precision was lost. So always diagnose before you fix. Display fixes are quick. Storage fixes require conversion steps, and sometimes recovery isn't possible.
This one habit, checking the underlying value, saves you from false confidence and bad exports. Next step. If Excel already converted the IDs but the digits are still intact, you can often convert them back to text cleanly. One simple method is to use a helper column with a text formula. For example, you can use a formula that turns the value into text with no decimals. Then copy that helper column and paste values back over the original. This forces Excel to store the result as text. Another method is text to columns, which can reinterpret a column as text without changing the visible digits. The key is timing. If the original value had 15 digits or fewer, you can usually recover perfectly. If it had more than 15 and Excel rounded it, you can't reconstruct the missing digits from inside Excel. At that point, you need the original source file or system export. So convert early and keep raw exports archived. Next step. Leading zeros deserve special attention because they disappear instantly when Excel treats the value as a number. If your IDs must be a fixed length, you can rebuild the zeros if you know the correct length. A common approach is to pad the left side with zeros using a text formula, like building a string of zeros and taking the rightmost characters. That gives you a consistent 8-digit or 12-digit ID, for example. But be careful. Padding is not the same as recovery. If Excel removed zeros that were meaningful, padding can restore the format only if you know exactly how many digits the ID should have. For credit cards, you usually know it's 16 digits, but for order IDs, it varies by system. So confirm the business rule first, then standardize the column as text so the zeros stay put. Next step. Now let's cover a subtle trap. Even if you format a column as text, Excel may still auto-convert during certain workflows, especially when opening delimited files or pasting from some sources. That's why it helps to build a landing sheet that is pre-formatted. Make a dedicated tab where the entire ID columns are already text, and you always paste imports there first. Then you can clean, validate, and only then move data into your working model. Another trap is using formulas that return numbers. If you concatenate pieces of an ID, you're safe because the result is text. But if you do math operations, Excel will push it back toward numeric storage. So prefer text functions for IDs. Treat identifiers like names, not like amounts. That mental shift prevents most accidental conversions. Next step. If your IDs are used for matching, like VLOOKUP, XLOOKUP, or joins between files, type consistency matters more than people expect. A text ID and a numeric ID that look identical will often fail to match. That leads to missing records, wrong merges, and silent errors. The fix is to standardize both sides. Either convert both columns to text or both to numbers, but for identifiers, text is usually safer. Also, watch out for spaces. Data copied from web pages can include hidden spaces that break matches. A quick cleanup is trimming spaces and then locking the result as values. Once your IDs are consistently stored as text, matching becomes reliable, and you stop chasing "why didn't it find it" problems that are really just data types fighting each other. Next step. Before you send a file to someone else or upload it into another system, do a quick validation pass. Pick a few IDs at random and verify 3 things. First, the length is correct, especially for fixed-length IDs like 16-digit cards. Second, the first and last digits match the source data. Third, the cell is stored as text, not just formatted to look like text. If you're exporting back to CSV, remember that CSV has no real data types. The receiving program will guess again. So if the next system is sensitive, consider exporting in a way that preserves text, or ensure the next import process sets the column type explicitly. The goal is not perfection for Excel. The goal is integrity across the whole pipeline, from source to spreadsheet to destination system. Next step. Let's put it all into a simple workflow you can reuse. Step 1. Decide which columns are identifiers and mark them as text before any data arrives. Step 2. Import using a method that lets you set column types, especially for CSV. Step 3. If you must paste into a pre-formatted landing sheet. Step 4. Run quick checks, length, leading zeros, and a spot check against the source. Step 5. Only then use those IDs for lookups, merges, and exports. This workflow is boring, and that's the point. It prevents the same high-cost mistakes from repeating. If you handle card numbers, order IDs, or customer references, this is one of those small spreadsheet habits that protects real money and real operations. Next step. One last reality check. If Excel already rounded a long ID beyond 15 digits, the missing digits are not hiding somewhere. Excel didn't store them. In that case, the only true fix is to re-import from the original source, or pull the IDs again from the system that generated them. So if you're troubleshooting a broken file, your first job is to determine whether you're dealing with display, conversion, or precision loss. That diagnosis tells you whether you can fix it inside Excel, or you need to come back upstream. If you want, share your situation in the comments as a quick choice. Are you dealing with A, scientific notation only, or B, digits actually changed? And if this kind of Excel troubleshooting is useful, subscribe for more practical fixes that keep your data clean and dependable. I'm always testing new ways to work smarter. Subscribe to see what workflow I'm breaking down next.